Path of Night is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the classic world of darkness. We're all friends, we're here to have fun, but our story can include graphic violence, drug use, sexual content, and other mature themes. We've talked at our table about safety, comfort, and consent, both as players and storytellers. We know what to expect. We're all excited to be here, and we want you to feel the same, so listener discretion is advised. Now let's walk the Path of Night. Last time on Path of Night, the coterie met at the Royale, a bar where Miles finds ample feeding opportunities. Wynn revealed the physical consequences of losing her cool during the fight with the Weeping Bear, cobra patterns on her skin and unseemly fangs in her mouth. After being forewarned by Neil, the coterie discussed plans to ambush the Setite hit squad coming to kill Miles, as well as the coming Sabbath Crusade. At a farm outside the city, Wynn and Britta helped Neil procure a bull. The Malkavians sacrificed the animal in a bloody ritual, drinking of its drugged blood and ascending the ladder of heaven, where he was confronted with visions. Exhausted and traumatized after the unexpectedly harrowing evening, the members of the coterie returned to New Haven to prepare for the nights to come. Johnny, in the dead of the night you find yourself headed towards downtown New Haven, and there you come upon Toad's place. This is a world of darkness reflection, so the building is much taller than it would be in the real world, and it is bedecked with those classic gargoyles that kind of rest their chins on their fists and stare down over the city itself. At its flanks are other buildings, a lot of them kind of shaped much more like Gothic-styled cathedrals than modern-era buildings. When you get into Toad's place, you're welcomed pretty quickly. Some of Jane's ghouls kind of show you along the way, and they take you to the emergency stairwell.
Is there anyone playing at the?
It's like it's dead. It was rented. Nobody's really doing anything.
So you just got some music playing over the PA.
Exactly. Yep. The bar is moving, so there is some hunting available if you find yourself needing it. But for the most part, they usher you up the stairs, out the rooftop exit, and you find yourself amidst a crowd of your clanmates. You immediately see a couple of faces that you recognize. Jane is there, and she's mostly kind of operating as something of like fun police. When Brujah get a little too rowdy, she kind of tones things down. She never does it overtly. She's never like, shut up. She kind of very deftly pivots the conversation more towards agreeable topics to keep people from boiling out of control this early on in the meeting.
Yeah.
Weathers has got like a little bit of a gloomy look to him. He definitely seems to have this pensive expression. You get the idea that he might be having some second thoughts about some of the things that you're concerned with as well.
Yep.
And then there's Amaya, who is the Baron of New Haven County.
What does Amaya look like?
Important thing about Amaya is that her appearance isn't actually incredibly consistent. A lot of kindred tend to keep the same haircut, same general look that they had during their embrace. She does not do that. She has pretty dark skin. She tends to keep it like in cornrows. Sometimes she has like a weave done into her hair. Right now she's got like big hoop earrings, leather jacket, jeans. She's kind of in Brujah uniform.
What kind of reputation does she have?
You're actually not terribly familiar with her. A lot of your interactions have been with Weathers and the Camelot. You do know that she's appeared at Elysium on occasion. But that's pretty much the extent of it right now. She seems to have a pretty friendly relationship with Weathers, though.
Right on.
And she is kind of giving some younger Brujah the pitch. Maybe instead of working for Shaw like they have been, maybe they can take that step, walk away from the Camelot, and not be forced to do some of the things that are going on. So people are kind of like getting ahead of themselves a little bit and trying to sway opinions. But once you arrive, Weathers calls Amaya over. The Brujah start to kind of quiet down, and a rant begins to come underway. So once everything kind of starts to get quiet, Weathers speaks up over those who are still kind of whispering in hushed tones. All right, I think it's time we just get this over and done with. I know there's been a lot going on, and some of it's got a lot of us rubbed the wrong way. Immediately, a couple of Brujah are like, rubbed the wrong way. Get it? And stupid finger guns and
Johnny just shoots the nasty looks, probably along with quite a few other Brujah at the assembled on the roof.
Yeah, the idiots kind of get quieted down pretty quick. It's pretty clear that they're there for laughs and not to really get anything important accomplished. There's always a few. But when you kind of give that look, Weathers casts his gaze on you. Johnny.
Yeah.
There are stories going around about Brujah killing Setites. What do you know about this?
Brujah killing Setites?
Yeah, like there's some sort of escalation happening.
Yeah, I don't know anything about escalation or not, but I may have defended myself against a couple of outsiders from the sect. Whether they were Setites or not, never stopped to ask.
Do you think this is something that the Brujah needs to look out for? What's your thoughts on it? Lay it on me.
I think the Setites' business is personal with me and my coterie. I don't think that it's anything to do with the clan. But I can guarantee you that if the Setites start acting up more, it's probably going to fall on the clan to have to deal with it.
Amaya interjects. What do you consider acting up then? Because last I checked, they've been picking up arms all over the place and are trying to hire thugs.
Setites are picking up arms?
That's right.
From what I know, the Setites are selling arms. I know the Camarille's buying.
Morgan, a caitiff associated with the Setites. He's the one that ran them guns. The Setites want a lot of guns, they want a lot of goons, and we don't really know why. So far all we know is that they're apparently cruising around for Brujah.
To try and pick Brujah up?
Don't know. You're the only one that's gotten into a fight with them. What happened? Why is this? Do we need to look out?
I don't think the Setites are going to be a problem for the clan, like I said. I think they're mostly coming after my coterie because of business that Miles has with them. You all know Miles? You all remember why he pissed off the Setites?
A couple seem to like, oh yeah, the weird animal thing. The killer goat, right? Like what was it?
It was a cat. Some kind of weird...
Killed a snake cat.
Desert cat. Who knows? Look, the point is, that's personal business. I think all of the weird moves they making are more in reaction to how the Camarilla is reacting to what's going on with Sabbat. Speaking of which,
quiet.
I think we need to start talking about what's going on with the Sabbat, because I don't like what people are doing in response. Namely, telling us we should be making children.
You can kind of hear some chatter among them. The prince overstepped. But we're in a society where there aren't really many consequences that aren't permanent. And if he's right, this problem is coming. What happens if a praxis kicks off right before a Sabbat attack?
A praxis on Rollins? I don't know. I don't think that'll be too much of a blip on the radar. If it was maybe a strong prince, then maybe something would happen.
Some Brujah raise their hands like, yo, we can help. Shaw. He'll take it. And a bunch of Brujah start kind of...
I didn't realize we were letting Nosferatu in this rant.
Shaw pays us better than any of the clans, Brujah included.
But like I said, this rant is for Brujah, so you can take your ugly mugs out of here.
Oh, no, those are Brujah.
Oh, I realize.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you can take your ugly mugs out of here and go back to your bootlicking clan.
One of them's like, yeah, guys, calm down. Obviously, Johnny wants to be prince. He's got what it takes, right? You're a problem solver. Looks like Shaw's the choice. And they're kind of like, yeah. And they like kind of hype each other up.
To be perfectly honest, Johnny will actually get up and go towards the center.
They actually kind of part to give you space. Even the ones that are pissed at you.
We got a lot of problems with the clan right now. We're being told that we gotta make soldiers for a Ventru army that's gonna somehow defeat the Sabbat. If it was a Brujah in charge of this force, maybe I'd be a little bit more inclined to provide them with children to actually save us. But instead, we got, what's his name? Looks kind of at Weathers. This guy who's raising an army?
He gives you, like, a look. The main force that they'd be joining up with is Roman Pendragon's army.
Pendragon?
He is a Brujah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Why is he not here?
I don't think it's a bad thing that he's not here. Roman Pendragon is cold-blooded. Monstrous, comes from the old world. He does not give a shit about anything that happens to us.
And who's he work for?
Himself.
Yeah?
Yeah. Alright, gather up. He kind of like motions for the Brujah to kind of get a little closer. Johnny, you struck a really old nerve just now. You see, Roman Pendragon was part of a 3-point operation. 3 very powerful elders came from Europe with the intentions of seizing control of New England. Roman Pendragon was one of them. He's one of the most overt members of this group.
Who are the others?
I think that might be a conversation for another night.
Kind of looks around at the rest of the Brujah to see if they're accepting that.
They're kind of like, not, but no one's, like, ready to punch Weathers for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, dick move, but, like, they don't want to step. It's called Operation Longbow.
Longbow.
Yep. Pendragon's been up north, warring with the Sabbat for years. And the tactics he uses are cruel. He fights like Sabbat.
So raising shovel heads and throwing them at their territories without care about who's surviving.
And when a prince gets nervous, isn't sure they're going to be able to hold their territory, he comes along to help them, and in exchange all he wants is their quiet compliance and to meet for the meat grinder.
So this guy doesn't give a shit about the clan then, does he?
He cares them so much that he thinks we're good weapons. But he's the one that's got Pendragon making this move. Him and Shaw. Shaw's got ties to Pendragon's army. When these Brujah are embraced, he looks among the Brujah that are there. Some of you already know this. Shaw's going to be their handler within the city.
Well, that gets me into my second problem. The fact that we've got traitors in this clan that are sucking Shaw's dick. We got Brujah that don't give a shit about the rest of their clanmates just because this one Nosferatu can pay better. I think these dumb shits should be ejected out of the clan.
One of the Brujahs kind of gets up. A guy named Joey. You've seen him around. He's the one that kind of tried to shoulder check you.
Yeah.
That other night in Elysium didn't go so great for him. Johnny, most Brujah work for Shaw. You're the odd man out.
I kind of look over at Amaya and her people. I don't know, any of you anarchs work for Shaw?
Hell
Apparently
no.
He pays real well.
Amaya smiles. Hey, Johnny, if this Camarilla thing's not working out, you don't have to work for Shaw. You don't have to embrace against your will. The prince doesn't own you. He can't make you do these things. You're a person.
No, but I got loyalty to people who've had my back in the past. Clanmates. I look over at Weathers.
It kind of gives you a nod of solidarity as you reject Amaya's advance.
And Amaya, I respect your people because they owe loyalty to you. But I owe loyalty to Weathers, the primogen of our clan. And then he starts kind of giving real mean eyes to some of the guys at the Rant that he knows are working for Shaw.
Joey stares daggers back at you. Weathers is primogen so long as your boy is still prince. When he's not prince anymore, there's going to be a new primogen. You, my friend, are preaching from a sinking ship. A ship that you just said yourself needs to go down. You need some perspective.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And what kind of perspective do I need?
I think you need to understand that Shaw is the future.
Johnny starts taking steps closer towards Joey.
He kind of like does the same, but like one of his boys holds him back for your sake. He's the future. And this family nonsense, this loyalty to Weathers, who doesn't do shit for you, doesn't do shit for any of us, that's the past. Let it go.
There's a lot of benefits to being part of the Clan Brujah. You get to come to Rants. Like, makes a big show of, like, breathing in the night air. You get to breathe this nice air up here. You want to hang out with Shaw in the sewers? Let me show you the door. And he will celerity over to this guy, grab him by his shirt, and toss him off the roof.
All right, so it sounds like we're going into combat.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't an if, it was a when.
So Joey and two of his boys are going to be rolling into combat against you.
All right.
So again, you're rolling 1d10.
It's a 10.
Adding your dex plus wits to the total and unspent celerity.
So I want to spend probably one celerity so that I can grapple and throw, right?
Mm-hmm.
16, 17?
17 for Inish?
Yep.
Initiative 19 and 16. Amaya and Weathers kind of hold and are watching to see what kind of a fair fight you're given.
All right, so Johnny is going to... We're just going to grab him. So I'll spend a point of blood to increase my strength. So we're looking at 4 successes.
You reach out, you snatch him up by his neck, his feet dangle off the ground as you get a hold of him. Joey, acting on a 15 initiative, is going to attempt to break free of your hold.
Absolutely.
There's 2 successes.
All right, well, I do have powerful arms. 9 successes.
With 9 successes against his 2, you're just kind of holding him with one hand at that point. and you can hear the pop of his jaw as you squeeze tighter while he tries to escape. The next Brujah, one of the guys, the one that specifically actually held him back, he comes running at you with fangs bared, and in his hand, he's got these like brass knucks that are kind of like glinting in the dark, and he swings pretty wild for you.
All right.
And whiffs right over your head. Another one comes up from behind, and they have 4 successes to stab you in the back with a knife.
Ooh. So I guess I'm just soaking here, right?
Right, you're going to roll your stamina plus 1 die for your jacket.
Yep. Unless I want to use my other celerity action to try and dodge that, right?
Yes, you can abort your celerity action to dodge.
Yeah, I'll give that a shot. I figure I'm going at the top of the... they might be... Can I see whether these guys are also moving with celerity?
I mean, everyone's moving a little quick.
Yeah.
These guys don't have extra actions, but it's not just the 2 that are swinging. You are full on getting jumped by some of Shaw's guys.
How many more guys do I think are coming at me?
Including Joey, it's 1 versus 6.
You may want to dodge.
Yeah,
that.
I'm gonna
Literally just got you out of torpor.
I'm gonna dodge this one. So that's gonna be athletics.
Yep.
Well, I am swift, so hopefully that'll. So only 3 successes to dodge that.
All right, give me a silk roll.
Yep.
And this one.
Oh, nothing.
Okay. The knife is dealing 5 levels of lethal damage.
Ooh.
I need a self-control check.
Yeah.
You're a Brujah. You're good at that, right?
I mean,
The difficulty is 6, psych, diff 8.
all right. Diff 8.
Yeah, Brujah.
We got no successes.
Okay. You fly into a frenzy, and as that happens, and the knife kind of shivs you right up into the back, that is when Weathers and Amaya join the fray. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to let you roll for Weathers' attack.
Sure, that's a smart idea.
Yes. Weathers has a 14 dice pool and is dividing his actions for 2 grapple checks. So you're going to roll 2 sets of 7 dice as he goes to snatch up 2 of the goons.
Yeah,
Okay. 2 successes on the first roll,
Very good.
and 5 successes on the second roll.
Boom. All right. So as you fly into a rage, 2 of the Brujah that are kind of making their way into the fight to get the drop on you are grabbed by Weathers and casually manhandled, being dragged away from you. The other is Amaya, who is going to slip up behind one of the other Brujah, and she's going to utilize a Dread Gaze. So the guy, he kind of winds his fist back, and she kind of like turns him by the elbow, meets his eyes, bares her fangs, and hisses. So why don't you give me a Dread Gaze check for her?
How many dice would you like me to roll?
She has an 8 dice pool, and will spend a point of willpower for an automatic success.
4 successes. 5 with the willpower.
That dude is eliminated. 2 are grappled. The 2 that he has struggle in his grip and are just hopelessly unable to get free.
Yep.
The other Brujah that are loyal to Shaw are kind of hesitant to get involved, as some of their guys are already kind of getting embarrassed. One of them, the one that Amaya deals with, is already on his way out.
Yep.
So we go to round 2. Are you making any expenditures for this round?
I am. Spending 2 blood on celerity actions, and another blood on...
Yeah, it's either going to be strength or dex.
Yeah, probably dex.
Yeah.
So I'm acting on a 17 still, right?
You're acting on an 18. You
18.
raised your dex.
That's right.
Amaya goes first. Amaya calls out, Johnny, you can't get carried away. This is what they want. Shaw wins if you kill a vampire. Give me a self-controlled if she tries to talk you down.
I will spend a point of willpower.
Okay.
Good call.
4 successes.
Damn.
All right.
Nothing but 8 from those
Yes.
dice.
8 and a auto success.
Well, if Amaya says so.
There is something about her voice that cracks through that shell of yours, and for a moment you calm down and you remember what you came here to do. And Joey wiggles and writhes trying to get out from under your grip, but for the moment, turn is yours, and you can decide what you want to do.
Try and land on your feet.
Give me a strength plus athletics.
Sure.
What is the likelihood of a vampire dying from being
Might
thrown
it be?
off a roof?
Might it
Depends on
be
the vampire.
brawl? To throw a man bodily?
It's actually athletics.
Okay.
It's like throwing a baseball. but bigger.
Big screaming
douchey
baseball.
It's a douche toss.
Thankfully, powerful arms will probably help with this. All right, so that's going to be 7 successes.
Okay, yeah. You casually toss him off the roof. Everyone's like, oh shit! And you hear this crunch noise down below, and the sounds of a car alarm beeping and making noise.
Oh, I really hope that was Miles's car.
Why do you hate my car so?
Because it irritates you and it's funny.
I turn back. Gnoss have fortitude, don't they?
Amaya looks at you. No, Johnny. They don't. Anyone else want to debate Johnny on this one? And she looks to the crowd of Shaw loyalists, and they kind of quietly back off and let you have the floor.
Where's
again.
the dude that had the knife?
He is being shaken by Weathers.
Like
I-
a horror
You actually
picture.
see like the knife clatter to the ground as Shaw shakes him.
Or Weather shakes him.
Or rather, yeah, sorry, Weathers shakes him.
The Shaw shaking will come later.
Shawshank Redemption.
Yep, the Shaw Shake Redemption.
Johnny gives him a death stare and kind of just rolls his shoulders a little bit, wincing at the knife wound in his back. I lost my train of thought. So anybody else want to declare for Shaw, or we still got Brujah here left on the roof? Gives everybody a look around.
It's a little quiet.
What I think we got to do is we got to figure out how we keep Brujah safe in this city, because we got too many cowards. Points over to these guys that just fought with him. Declaring for Nos, selling out Brujah, selling out secrets of Brujah. And if that's what we're dealing with, we can't figure out the best way to move forward when we have those in power telling us we need to provide soldiers for their private armies to deal with Sabbat. Because I don't have the answer to that, but we need to, as a clan, figure out what we're going to do.
Amaya steps forward. Johnny's totally right. And I'm going to be honest with you. The Sabbat's coming for the Camarilla. Your prince is selling you to Pendragon. You take a praxis now, Shaw ends up in power. This is a no-win situation. You don't have to leave the Camarilla. I know some of you are weird diehards, but you can lay low out of town. And I've got space. Let Rollins deal with his own problem himself.
Johnny gives a look over to Weathers to see what his reaction to that is.
Weathers gives this look, like his eyes meet yours for a second, like you might, as if you were the only person on the roof that kind of got it. But it's pretty clear, at least that he's made up his mind, that if the Brujah decide to go, he's staying. He very clearly acknowledges that Amaya's got a point, that anyone who stays is getting used as cannon fodder. And Amaya kind of like gives him an apologetic look. It's kind of like the idealists are having this moment where you guys see each other. You don't necessarily agree with each other, but you see each other.
You know, the Sabbat in town isn't going to be good for the Anarchs either. They may be coming for the Camarilla, but they're not going to let you just live in the area.
Yeah? Tell that to L.A. The spot burns itself out. All we have to do is back off and wait.
I don't think this is anything like Los Angeles.
Anywhere can be like Los Angeles. You just need to have the vision for it.
Do you have any idea what's coming up the East Coast?
I've heard some of the stories.
You've
A lot
heard
of the guys
stories.
that I have, they run town to town. They do shipping. Coyotes. They heard about what's going on. But it can't be something we can't dodge. They're coming for somebody else. Let them fight. None of these people are our friends. Both of them would use the Brujah as dogs on leashes. We lose nothing if they take each other out.
Yeah, well, I got a lot of friends in the city.
Tell them to get the hell out. This place is going down.
Well, I'm not giving soldiers to Pendragon. I don't think I'm running. What are the Anarchs going to do if the remaining Brujah in the city do ask for a call to arms?
A call to arms is a call to arms. But don't drag us into the fire because you're stubborn. We're people too. And you don't like it when Pendragon does it to you. The mood of the rant kind of dies when the clan really kind of realizes it. So Weathers comes forward. He's like, all right, look, we all know what's going on. It's time for a vote. Our options, Amaya has presented. We go We lay low for a while, we leave town. Johnny's presented... I want to make sure we're clear on this, Johnny, as to what you're presenting. You're presenting that we stay and fight, but we don't acquiesce to the requests of Roland's.
That's right.
All right? And then he kind of like looks over the ledge. Joe, what the hell is yours? I can't hear you. He comes back. Joey says something. And like a couple of them like snicker. Like even his own friends kind of laugh at Joey a little.
I'd also like to put it forth that we purge any Nosferatu sympathizers in the clan. But that might just be my own personal crusade.
That's
and he kind of gives a hard look at like all the remaining guys that he knows are actually Nosferatu sympathizers.
Mm-hmm. So one of Joey's like supporters kind of like, all right, what Joey wants is simple, guys. We just do what the prince asks. And if we're pissed off about it later, there's more Brujah to be mad. A bigger call to arms. And the guy kind of like looks at you and is like, I mean, it makes sense, right? If Upton's doing this, we would need them numbers to take him out anyways.
The Brujah you're making aren't going to be loyal to a clan. They're not going to be loyal to anybody other than Roland's, Shaw, and Pendragon. And I can guarantee you that none of those three give any shit about you or any bootlicking kids you make.
But what if we don't turn those children over right away? What if instead we hold on to them, since the fighting's going to happen here eventually, and we take control?
That is an incredibly stupid idea.
We're the only ones that we know will take care of us.
If you think it's a good idea for us to just to fall into small little separate bands and just start making shovelheads, we should probably just put you down right now.
Johnny, you gotta stop threatening everyone that doesn't agree with you.
It's been working out pretty well so far.
Really? Because isn't that what Shaw does? I guess it works out for him.
Johnny's jaw tightens. He definitely leans back. The words kind of have struck home, and he realizes where he's at right now. I'm sorry.
It's cool.
But we can't do that. I got embraced as a Sabbat shovelhead. I escaped the Sabbat barely. I've seen what they do firsthand. They tried to bring me into that life. And mass embracing kids like this, no matter how much you think it's a good idea, that's the first step to going down a really dark path.
One of the Brujah, despite the weight of your words, snickers to his friend. It's like, Johnny's got brute blood.
Johnny bites his lip real hard.
Weathers interjects before this gets out of control again. All right, so you're saying that we go through with Roland's recommendation, but we hold on to the Brujah. All right, fuck it. Let's put it to vote. It is at this point, Johnny, that I need a charisma plus leadership roll.
Charisma plus leadership?
Yes.
All right.
You feel to say right now that I do every time they make a fucking perception check?
Yes.
It's like, why does it me? Oh.
Does spending for awe help me on this?
No.
No, okay. Difficulty?
8.
8. 2 successes.
Okay.
Including the willpower?
Including the willpower. The Baron.
Can I just say while we're rolling that I unabashedly love Amaya, and she's my new favorite character in this fucking whole game.
Oh, she's fantastic.
She's incredible.
Amaya has 4 successes. The other guy,
Not Joey.
who's not Joey, just some,
Doesn't have Joey's
some
leadership
guy
prowess.
doesn't really stand out in terms of appearance.
Oh, fuck off.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he has a minus from difficulty 6. Quietly start casting their votes. Pretty quickly, it looks like these Brujah are deciding that they want to go ahead with the mass embrace and overtake the city themselves. Weathers leans into you during the vote. Johnny, you did good, but something's wrong. We gotta go. Now.
That's such a bad plan. Why are they all falling for that shit?
Because it's the most aggressive. We gotta go.
Amaya's people are kind of staying with her?
Amaya's people are leaving with Weathers.
With Weathers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the side that's deciding to go off and embrace, they're like not gonna wait to embrace. They're kind of getting riled up now during the voting.
Weathers, we got a real big problem on our hands right now.
Yeah. I need a favor.
You got it.
Shaw and the Xantos have been in contact with each other. As I understand it, you guys are the ones that are going in for the hit. Is that right?
That's right.
I need every little bit of dirt that you can get on Shaw. We might be able to get him conclaved. But at this point, that's our only shot.
Yeah.
Get that info.
All right.
And lay low. Joey's guys are going to be looking for you.
All right.
He, pats you on the back.
Oh, Johnny winces.
You took it like a man.
I don't know about that.
Me neither. Amaya kind of pats you on the back. We should go. She's clever for a hot second, and then she looks around at these Brujah who all have their fangs bared at this point and are just ready to go, and she just starts making her way down the staircase. Jane stays behind.
Really?
Jane has been quiet through the entire rant. She kind of sits among the group, gives you and Weathers a nod, and then keeps with the Brujah that are remaining.
Johnny definitely is like Jane. Let's go. And then sees that she's staying. His brow furrows up a little bit. And he kind of gives her this look like, you motherfucker. And he'll stare at her and wait for her to break that.
She does this look where she doesn't quite just turn away, but she raises her nose as she turns her head to look away, scoffing at your tension. Johnny.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
Johnny will follow Weathers and the Baron out.
The group of you make your way downstairs. Weathers and the Baron kind of have this quiet moment, and then she parts way with her guys, and you and Weathers are left to your own devices. It's at that he's basically going to lead you off and let you know that the Brujah are going to be pretty dangerous for a little while. He's got tabs on it. He'll let you know as things unfold.
Just us then, huh?
We'll see. Everyone gets on the bandwagon when they think something cool's about to happen. When that shit goes wrong, they'll come back. They always do.
How you going to get in touch with me if you need?
You got a beeper?
I still got that same one that I gave you a little bit ago, but I think that got compromised.
Let me give you another one. He takes you out to his SUV, and it is fucking demolished. And he pauses and gives you this look like he might snatch your little Brujah head clean off its shoulders.
Do you have a flaw in your sheet about being terrible to cars?
It's a Joey-shaped bump, right?
It is a Joey-shaped, smashed-in hood.
What's that technological jinx?
I'm sorry, man.
I have no idea how that venture keeps you anywhere near him.
Well, he's got deep pockets, so
Great.
cars just keep turning up.
He heads over to the trunk, pops it open. There's a pair of go bags, and he passes you one, kind of firmly shoves it up against you. Take that, go.
All right.
He takes his bag and then kind of walks away. Miles, we pick up with you at your haven. You've got some of those crates out in front of you. I know you've been pondering whether or not you want to make use for them for some of your plans that you've got going on. You know one of them has those assault rifles that were checked, but there's two others that remain a bit of a mystery.
I was told that I could request whatever I needed for this Xantosa thing, and this seems like an opportunity.
I consider that a perfectly valid
justification.
Yeah. However, as you're kind of sitting by, relaxing and getting ready to observe your stash, your servant approaches you. He's got a little bit of a forlorn expression. You kind of quickly get the sense that he may have thought that your unfortunate circumstances that you recently underwent and how well he handled things for you then may have led to him having expectations. And instead of those expectations being met, he approaches you with your phone. Miles, you have received a phone call from a Mr. Johnny Saxon.
Thank you, Marcos.
He sets the phone down, takes a few steps back, and just kind of waits. On the other side of the phone, you can kind of already hear like some sound.
Hello?
You hear the clack of a Zippo shutting and a drag on a cigarette before Johnny's voice cuts in. Miles, everything all right?
I think for the most part, yeah, so far.
I just got back from the Rants. Things are not looking too good in the domain right now.
That is not good news.
No.
How bad are we looking at?
Well, I'm not sure if we're looking at a full-blown defection, but most of the Brujah are either going to be leaving with the Anarchs or probably throwing their lot in with Shaw. Might even be looking at actual praxis at some point.
I mean, I saw the Shaw thing coming, but it seems a little fast. We'll see what happens.
Well, I think that I kind of played into his plans, because we were all worked up about being told to make children. I think that actually is exactly what he wanted. Most of the clan is on his side, and I mean most. Right now, I think that the Brujah in the city that are still loyal to the domain are Weathers, and I mean, I'm loyal to Weathers, so Weathers and me. Jane, I don't know what she's pulling. Maybe she's doing some kind of undercover thing for Weathers, but right now it looks like she might be throwing her lot in with Shaw.
No, keep that close to the chest for now. We're not sure where that's going to play. But I did make mention of this in a way before you left, or before when we last talked about it.
Yeah.
It's better to be in a place of position to do something than to be known obstructionist.
Yeah. Well, this is where we're at now. Probably should have listened to you more. While I got you, do you got a pen and paper?
Yes.
Yeah. Let me. You hear him fumbling in the side of the phone. Here's my. I got a new beeper from Weathers. He gave me kind of a bug out bag. This one ought to be good, and I'm not letting it go any further than you and Weathers.
A little early, but I was going to call you pretty soon, so that works out pretty good.
Well, this would be the way to do it.
Why don't
He gives you the beeper number.
Why don't you head over this way? We're going to gear up. The ambush isn't going to be too long from now.
All right.
Bring anything or not, I'm going to provide some supplies when you get here.
You're really going full out for this, huh?
They wrecked my car. Twice.
By the way, you see where Wynn's at? I swung by her shack and didn't see her. I don't know where she's at these right now.
Great. I guess I'll start calling you guys to come in. You might as well all get here around the same time.
All right.
See you soon.
Phone hangs up.
I'll look over at Marcos. Is he still there?
Yep.
Is there a problem?
No, of course not. He turns and starts walking away.
I'll call Britta.
Ow. I heard that hesitation.
Britta, your phone rings while you're out and about hunting for the evening.
I've just given someone the kiss, but I have time to pick up the phone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Miles.
Hello, Britta.
Is everything all right?
Yes. We're going to be gathering soon for this ambush, and I would like you to come by and gear up.
All right, I'm ready.
Very good. See you soon.
She hangs up.
One more down.
I guess I'll go with Neil next.
Neil, you receive a phone call.
Hey, Miles, I'm busy. What's up?
Busy with what?
Doesn't matter. What's up?
What do you mean? Doesn't matter.
I have a life outside of you.
I mean, if you didn't want me to ask questions, why would you say something like that?
It doesn't matter. What's up? What do you need?
Anyways, we're gearing up. The ambush is going to happen soon. You should probably come on by.
Okay.
The coterie is gathering.
Sounds good. I'll be there, I don't know, like half an hour?
Sure.
Okay.
Just make your presence known.
What? Whatever. I'll see you soon. And Neil hangs up and goes back to ordering his newspapers.
Ordering, like, getting more of them or putting them in order?
Yep.
Okay.
And then I guess I will dial Wynn's beeper and wait for that to call back. And
All right, so Wynn, your beeper goes off.
Okay. She checks it. Should probably answer him. Finds the nearest Elysium phone and dials Miles's number.
You kind of head over to the payphones, and it looks like one of them is like maybe out of service, like they've taken the phone and the cord off of it, and it looks like they're kind of cutting down on the number of active payphones seeing use.
She goes to the one active payphone, 1-800-CALLATT.
Yep.
Miles's number.
Miles, your phone rings.
roll my eyes and answer the call.
First, I ask you if you'd like to accept the charges for the collect call.
I think
Yo,
about
it's
denying
Wynn.
it. Then I'll take it.
Hi, what do you need?
We're gathering soon for the ambush.
All right, I have a thing I need to take care of first.
Everybody's so busy.
You are not the center of our lives, Miles.
That's a disappointment.
I can't imagine it's a surprise, though.
Are we done here? I will see you when you get here. Goodbye.
Bye, Miles. Thank you for caring.
I hung up.
Wynn hangs up the phone, feeling just a little bit guilty.
So you hang up back at the Elysium. Mm-hmm. It is very crowded. Taking a look inside, there seems to be a bit more of the art that had been placed on display by the Toreador before. You can see Elsa Linden kind of gathering this flock of socialites. And even you get the impression that this isn't happening for no reason. She's having a whole lot of secret meetings right out in front of everyone. And it's coming in the form of various minions approaching her, giving encrypted, kind of secretive compliments, gestures, and there's this whole language that's being spoken amongst them that you do not understand. But
Sprechen Sie Socialite? 9.
beyond that foyer space that she's kind of seized control of, when you take a look upstairs, you can actually very clearly see the Seneschal and Prince walking side by side. The Prince has this disgusted scowl that he's wearing as he looks over at Elsa, and he's kind of regarding her as she's some like great threat to his praxis, and that they're on the way to this confrontation with each other. Mm-hmm. And is not paying attention to the fact that way down the hall that you can kind of see from the position you're standing at looking in through the window, there is a lot of Brujah that are kind of flocking to Shaw, who yet again does not see any reason to conceal his true visage. And this kind of like charred, monstrous Nosferatu is kind of demonstrating that he is some sort of peer to the infamous Elsa Linden.
I am kind of taking note of this. All of these interactions occurring in a language I am not super fluent in. Mm-hmm. But I am not really looking at who is here in this plane. I am here to look for Joey.
You don't see any signs of Joey. However, while they kind of like walk along the Prince and the Seneschal, they get so close you can kind of hear their like steps on like the marble floor. Mm-hmm. Once they get that close, you notice that some of the things that the Seneschal, Mr. John Reese, is wearing kind of takes on this kind of a wispy glow. And it's this shine that no one else in the area seems to kind of notice. Nothing about him really stands out to anyone. He's kind of like a hawkish, unattractive man. Mm-hmm. But in the Shadowlands, this like windy realm of the dead, the items that he is carrying have clear power to them. For a moment, he kind of gives you side eye as if he actually notices that you notice. And there's this millisecond exchange between the two of you where you become very confident that he knows exactly why you're here. Upton Rollins is completely oblivious to this. He just kind of continues scowling at Elsa, and Elsa kind of gives to him this stunning, winning smile.
I couldn't be possibly scheming against you.
Right,
yeah,
like it's almost as if she is saying, like, in like one quick cute half smirk is like, "You're welcome for me being here." You know what I mean? Like, I am here, and therefore you have a true Elysium.
Nice. Wynn walks in the door, and she just kind of takes a minute because this is not her forte, and everyone in here knows that.
Mr. John Reese stops. If you'll excuse me, Your Grace, there is a conversation that I need to have. And Upton kind of like huffs, and the last bit of his entourage walks away, leaving Upton kind of standing alone while his rivals are surrounded by like vassals. And Reese makes his way to you. And in his hand, he kind of has this like there's this stereotype amongst the Tremere that every single one of them has a cane and none of them have a limp. He is walking to you and absolutely has a cane in his hand. And right around where his hand like rests while he's holding it, you can see this again a wispy glow that comes from it. Now that you're closer to it, you can see that it's like that soul stuff that the dead are made from in the underworld. Whatever it is that he's wearing, these little pieces of jewelry, they are kind of charged with a wraithly presence, as if he may have been binding spirits to him. What is your name again?
Bronwyn Cabot. You can call me Wynn.
Thank you, Miss Cabot. Please come with me. He kind of actually walks back in the direction of the payphone. It's as if he wants to talk to you about something, but he doesn't want to be seen talking to you.
Oh, I know the look.
And not that it's secret, but it's more embarrassing because you're this filthy gangrel monster.
Oh, I know. He's afraid I'm going to pee on him in public.
Yeah. He definitely thinks you're going to pee somewhere.
Yeah.
As you get out past the glass doors, he turns and lights up a cigarette. And he's got one of those kind of cheesy Zippos with an arcane symbol on the side of it.
What does the arcane symbol say?
Well, and when you look at it, it looks like it's kind of like a hermetic seal. But
is it actually real, or does it say Chinese food or something?
Here's the thing: it is actually a real hermetic seal. In fact, when he lights the cigarette, you can feel the presence of some unseen force coming from the lighter itself that kind of gives you pause and makes you suddenly afraid to touch his lighter. It's this very subtle show of force as he lights the cigarette, takes a drag, and exhales smoke onto you. I have something you want.
You do.
Unfortunately for you, you remain a member of the coterie, and therefore I will hear what you have to say. But that's only because you have something I want.
Oh, were you done?
I might be.
The little boy, Joey.
You want him?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I made him a promise that I would take him home to see his mom before he left.
And that promise is very important to you.
It's important to him.
How important to him is it?
I'm not going to wave exactly how important things are, because if my dad taught me one thing, you don't talk money before the other person does.
Very well, let's talk money. As I understand it, you've been selected as one of the members of a strike force headed to deal with Mr. Zantosa. Is that correct?
Yes.
I see. It is very important to the court that Mr. Zantosa be dealt with and prevented from his creations being allowed to run amok through the city.
Naturally.
But I don't think that His Grace will be deeply offended if Mr. Zantosa disappears rather than being confirmed dead. I want Mr. Zantosa alive. You give him to me, and I will give you the boy.
No deal. Boy first.
You don't know how this works. That's not going to happen. What will happen is the transaction will be logged by the Harpy. And so, my respect for the rules of prestation and the will of the Camarilla will ensure that you get your boy. He takes off his glasses. You've already walked off alone with me. I can make you get me that Zantosa.
If you make me get you the Zantosa, you are operating on the assumption that the rest of my coterie will allow that to happen.
I'm operating on the assumption that your coterie is close to you, and that what you ask, they will hear and consider. And if you demonstrate a show of force, they will stay their hand because of their affection to you.
You don't know my coterie very well.
Don't be ridiculous. All coteries operate that way. You are not Tremere. You will care for one another. You will take risks to keep one another safe. You will make poor decisions in hopes that the group of you stay together forever.
I will make poor decisions that affect me. I will not make poor decisions that will affect my coterie. And the fact is, we have already been charged with ensuring that this guy dies.
And now you've been charged with ensuring that he lives. All you have to do is keep it secret. And I have no doubt that they would keep this secret for you.
You haven't met me. I can't keep things secret.
Miles can. Trust him. And he'll get you your boy.
This is not a deal I'm willing to make. I will find another way to get the boy.
The boy's not going to last for very long. As you know, he's not incredibly useful aside from the spirit stuff that makes him. To you, He is a child who has underwent a traumatic experience and has been prevented from being able to move on because of this. To me, he is fuel. And sooner or later, I'm going to have need of fuel. And considering how tumultuous these nights have been, I promise you that the moment I need fuel, he will be the fuel I use.
And then he disappears into oblivion.
Eventually. The process is much slower. You see, first, you have to understand that the world of the dead is...
Don't condescend to me, Mr. Reese.
Oh, you've come to the wrong conversation if you hope to
I'm
not
aware.
be condescended.
I know what your clan is for.
The spirit world is made up of wraithly material. All things. Every coin, every object is forged from a soul. And I might need an ashtray. So yes, he will eventually be dragged to oblivion and cease to be altogether consumed by that infinite corruptive force. But first, he will scream for a long time. Get me the Zento, sir. He turns and he heads in.
Get bent, Reese. And when, as she was listening, tears of blood start coming down her face, but she does not actively weep. Fully understanding what she is condemning this little boy to do.
Okay.
Path of Night is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the classic world of darkness. Britta, the unknown new embrace, was played by Rebecca Steigelfest. Johnny Saxon the Brujah was played by Garrett Gabbey. Miles Davenport the Ventrue was played by Tim Davis. Neil Foster the Malkavian was played by Rob Muirhead. Wynn Cabot the Gangrel was played by Erika Webb. Your storyteller was Lex Lopez. Recording by Rebecca Steigelfest. This episode edited by Rob Muirhead. The music used in this episode was January Grunge Lovefest by Technoax. Visit them online at technoax.com, teknoax.com. Path of Night uses the 20th Anniversary Edition rule set of Vampire the Masquerade with a few limited house rules. Vampire the Masquerade and the Storyteller system are owned by Paradox Interactive. Make sure to subscribe to us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at @PathOfNightPod, on Facebook at facebook.com/PathOfNightPodcast, or email us at pathofnightpodcast@gmail.com. See you next time, Kindred.
Hey everyone! Do you like listening to two brothers who talk about classic video games?
If so, you have very specific interests.
And we have a very specific solution.
Listen to Classic Gaming Brothers. We're two brothers.
And we talk about video games.
Find us on any of the podcast apps that are available.
Or don't.
And remember, don't play games like my brother.
And don't play games like my brother.
We've been the Classic Gaming Brothers.
That's right.
Just imagine it having a beeper and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and like nothing else.
Oh, Weather's got me Lunchables.
It's the pizza ones.